Morning students. Now today we have to continue our topic is the inverse trigonometry. Okay. So now here is some property we are using that. Okay. Now first one we have to know that here is some inverse trigonometry. Inverse trigonometry means we are using a inverse. Okay. Like that. Suppose that you have given that any function. The function is a sin inverse sin theta is equal to theta. Second one cos inverse cos theta is equal to theta. Third one is a tan inverse tan theta is equal to theta. Cot inverse cot theta is equal to theta. Fifth one is a sec inverse sec theta is equal to theta. Now next one is a cos inverse cosec theta is equal to theta. Okay students, now we have to look at that. Here is any proof of that. First one is a sin inverse sin theta is equal to theta. We have to discuss about how it is proved that. Okay students, now we have to take let x is equal to sin theta. Okay, then the value of theta is equal to sin inverse x is equal to theta. That value is a theta. So now students, you can know that what we can let x is equal to sin theta. Keeping that value, it means sin inverse the value of x. Yes, what is the value of x? X is equal to sin theta. Okay students, that sin inverse sin theta is equal to theta. That is our first. We have to already prove that. Means sin inverse sin theta is equal to theta. So what we can do? We have to take sin inverse sin theta is equal to let x is equal to sin theta. Then we can find the value of theta. Theta is equal to sin inverse x. Then keeping that value x is equal to sin theta. So then the first property is a sin inverse sin theta is equal to theta. Now the similar next 5 we have to already prove that according to that one. Okay students, now second one is a sin inverse x is equal to x. Here is a both are difference. What is the difference? Here is sin inverse sin theta is equal to theta. Okay students, what is? Here is sin inverse. We are using a sin inverse, but here is a sin inverse x is equal to theta. Second one cos inverse x is equal to x. Tan inverse x is equal to x. Cot inverse x is equal to x. Sec inverse x is equal to x. Cosec inverse x is equal to x. We have to already discuss about that things. Okay, sir. Here is some more important property we are using that our inverse trigonometry. Now that is the sin inverse minus x. What is sin inverse minus x is equal to minus sin inverse x, where x belongs to minus 1 and 1. You can already know that why we are using a minus 1 and plus 1. We have to already discuss about the first video when we are taking a graph of a sin inverse x. Then we can find that value. Second one, cos inverse minus x is equal to pi minus cos inverse x. Why? Because we can know that in the second coordinate cos inverse minus x we can using a 180 minus theta. So we can write cos pi minus cos inverse x, where x belongs to minus 1 to 1. Now next one is a tan inverse minus x. Tan inverse minus x is equal to minus tan inverse x, where x belongs to r, where r is called a real number. Next one is a cot inverse minus x is equal to pi minus cot inverse x, where x belongs to r. Next one is a sec inverse minus x is equal to pi minus sec inverse x belongs to r. Now next one is a cosec inverse minus x minus cosec inverse x, where x is greater than equal to 1. Here is some more property we have to discuss about that. Other than that is a basic property we are using, that is sin cos. But in inverse form we can know that sin inverse it is related to cosec inverse, cos inverse is related to sec inverse, tan is related to cot inverse. But how it is related to that we have to discuss about that. First one, cosec inverse x. Cosec inverse x, we can write here x is equal to 1 upon sin inverse x, where x belongs to minus 1 and plus 1. Cosec inverse x is equal to 1 upon sin inverse x. Okay, now next one you can write here, that one is also cosec inverse x. So we can write here sin inverse 1 upon x. That is another form we can write here. That is a cosec inverse x equal to sin inverse 1 upon x. Or we can say, what we can say, we can write here sin inverse x is equal to cosec inverse 1 upon x. That is the relation between the cosec and sine. Now next one we have to take the sec inverse. Sec inverse x we can write 1 upon cosec inverse x, or we can write cos inverse 1 upon x. Here is also your x is belongs to -1 to +1. Now next one is that is sec inverse is related to cos inverse. Now so we can write what is cos inverse x is also related to sec inverse 1 upon x. Now next one is we are taking that tan inverse x. Tan inverse x we can write here cot inverse 1 upon x, where x is belongs to of the real number. Next one is a cot inverse x is equal to tan inverse 1 upon x, x is belongs to or. That is a basic property which we are using at the our inverse trigonometry function. Okay students, now here is also some property we have to discuss about that. That property is very useful to their competition and the other boards examination. Like that is a sin inverse x plus cos inverse x is equal to pi by 2. Okay student, that is a very good property we are using that. What is a sin inverse x plus cos inverse x is equal to pi by 2. Second one is a tan inverse x plus cot inverse x is equal to pi by 2. That is the third property. Now the next one is a sec inverse x plus cosec inverse x is equal to pi by 2. That property we are using that our trigonometry function. Here is some more important formula like that. Tan inverse x plus tan inverse y. So we can write here tan inverse x plus y 1 minus xy. Next one is a tan inverse minus x, tan inverse minus x, tan inverse y. We can write here tan inverse x minus y upon 1 plus x y. That is a tan inverse x plus tan inverse y. Now we have take the cot inverse x plus cot inverse y. That is the property of cot inverse x plus cot inverse y. So we can write here cot inverse xy minus 1 upon x plus y. That is the cot inverse x plus cot inverse y. Now we can again take the property cot inverse x minus cot inverse y is equal to cot inverse x plus y, xy plus 1 upon x minus y. That is the basic property we are using that our next exercise. Okay students.